Hey guys, it's Cayley. I am back with another What Sold video. I'm gonna be honest, I thought that last week I was just really not gonna have a good one, and sales leading up till Friday, with only the weekend left, were really slow for me. But the weekend rolled around and we actually had a day where we made over $1,000 in one day, and so that really helped to boost sales. Still a slower week, but a lot better than what I thought we were going to end up with. Hope you guys are having great sales. I know mine have been up and down, but it's to be expected as we move into warmer weather. And leading into the summer slowdown, I am just doing everything I can to get more listed. We recently just bumped from 35 listings up till 40. That just happened last week, so I don't expect to see a boost in sales for probably about a month or so, but just want to let you guys know where I'm at. Yeah, let's dive into these sales.
All right, so everything that you see here on the screen happened between February 5th through the 11th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. In total, we sold 238 items for a gross sales total of $5,526.52. This is slightly lower than where we want to be, but we do expect ups and downs during this time of the year. So in total, I'm pretty okay with those numbers. We put in a lot of hard work and it's definitely showing even during the slow times. Average sale price was $23.22. Estimated cost of goods was $952, and estimated net, which is our gross sales less cost of goods, fees, and any shipping costs or discounts, was $3,011.52. On eBay, I sold 103 items. On Poshmark, I sold 135. Gross sales on eBay were a little over $3,500 with an average sale price of $34.57. And on Poshmark, gross sales were a little over $1,900 with an average sale price of just $14.56. We are once again seeing a lot of our older items move out of Poshmark, but this continues to go up as the weeks go on and we stop doing those clearance sales. So this is the number where we want to be at, average sale price in total, and we are working to get back towards that since we've moved some of those older items out. I am going to start on eBay. I am going to go kind of quick because you can see there is a ton of sales to go through that I am really excited to share with you guys. So let's dive into these. You're going to see a mix of some spring, summer, and also winter items just because we still are selling off some of the colder weather stuff. But they are some pretty good sales that I would look for throughout the entire year. So this first one is more of a warmer weather. This is a men's Polo Ralph Lauren linen rope pant. Anything in Ralph Lauren in interesting materials or styles, I almost always look up because they tend to be some really high dollar flips. Polo Ralph Lauren, pretty much any of its lines with exception to a few. They retail for quite a bit, and so on the resale market, you could still get a pretty good profit. So these are a pair of just kind of beachy pants. Definitely anything nautical in this brand, I would definitely keep your eye out for. This one, the main reason I picked it up was because it had a rope waistline here. Like you can tell that is super beachy. And we picked this up even with some flaws on it. You can see we noted it here in the condition. We paid $4.89 for this. They ended up selling on an offer for $76.94, which is a great return on investment, especially with something with flaws. Next up is a soft surroundings piece. This is a good bread and butter to pick up, although we try to be pretty picky and stick to the larger sizes. This one is a really old tag. As you can see, this is not one you see very often anymore, but this was a size 2X and it was a really gorgeous wool silk blend 2X jacket. We actually felt so confident in this. We picked it up for $10.99. It was just very true to the brand. The brand is very like artsy, art to wear, sometimes beachy. And so whenever you get a piece in a brand that like really fits the brand, to me, those are the ones that sell the best. So we paid $10.99 for it. It ended up selling on an offer for $60.64. Great return on investment with that one. Next up is a colder weather item. This is an LL Bean women's ultra warm puffer coat. Anything LL Bean that includes down is definitely going to be a yes for us. Thrift stores sometimes price these jackets up, but then others don't seem to really care about LL Bean, so I'm always on the hunt for LL Bean outerwear. This also had a fur hood, which I do think helped to increase the value, and it was a size extra large. I paid $8.99 for it. We ended up selling it for $49.66, and it just sold last week. And I don't know about you guys, but in Ohio, it is getting warmer really fast. So I'm surprised that people are buying puffer coats still, but I guess it's cold somewhere. Next up is a great brand to be on the lookout for in the shoe department. It is Dr. Martens or Doc Martens, however you want to say it. You can typically tell by this like yellow thick stitching around the sole, and then these little tabs here on the back. These ones are called the Men's Alfie Canvas boots in a size 10. To be honest with you, I have never found really anything in Dr. Martens that doesn't sell well. It just really depends on how you price it, but there are obviously some more rare pieces out there as well. So this one we picked up for $6.99. It did have some significant wear throughout, but it still ended up selling for $44.92, which is a really solid sale. These ones actually sold within just a couple of weeks of listing. You guys might have seen this in several videos. This is a very, 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 very large squishmallow. The largest that I've seen. I know you can't tell from the photo, but this thing is humongous. And squishmallows are just really great things to pick up if you've got a unique one. They're super easy to look up. You can usually just Google lens it. So when I come across them, I usually do a quick look. These ones, these like really large ones paired with this Robert the Frog was a really rare one, and it was so rare that I even picked it up with all of these fixed stitches, which you can see we noted. We've been sitting on this one for several months, but I am glad we picked it up. We paid $5.99 for it, and it ended up selling for our full asking price of $44.88. Although again, it did take several months to sell, 3 to 4 months, but definitely worth the initial investment. However, in the future, this was actually really hard to ship because we had to squish it down in order to fit in a box because it was so massive. So in the future, I might not pick up ones this large, but I'm definitely going to keep my eyes out for rare squishmallows. Next up is another Ralph Lauren piece, and just a category in general we've been seeing a lot of success with. It is blazers in both men's and women's. This is a Ralph Lauren men's blazer. I would definitely keep your eye out for anything Ralph Lauren men's blazers, with exception to the line Chaps. Chaps doesn't really seem to perform well, but pretty much any other line is going to do good, especially in larger sizes. This is a size 50 long. And this had a houndstooth print, which, in my opinion, always adds value, especially in like dressier stuff, business wear. So for all of those factors combined, we picked this one up. We paid $8.99 for it, and it ended up selling on an offer for $40. This is a great brand to keep your eye out for pretty much throughout the entire year, but especially moving into spring and summer because it is a well-known golf brand. It is G4. It is G/4. And they sell shorts, polos, and different things. We most often come across the polos, and if you find them, they're like $50 flips, even pre-owned, which is a crazy return on investment for a shirt. This one actually sold in a bundle with this other G4 shirt, so you can tell there's some popularity there. We listed each of these for about $50, and we paid $4.89 for each of them. They sold in a bundle for a total, with some like discounted promotions because it was a bundle, for $83.94. So they sold for a little over $40 each with the discount. Great return on investment even at $40 with it being a polo shirt. So keep your eye out for this brand, G4. It is definitely one that you want to pick up. Next up is another coat, and this is one that just sells super well for me every single year. Although I pick up almost nothing in this brand, besides the coats and sometimes handbags, it is Michael by Michael Kors. For some reason, these packable down jackets or down jackets in Michael Kors in general just really have a following. So this one was a black packable down jacket, super lightweight, size medium. I felt so confident in this. I actually paid $9.99 for it, and it ended up selling for our full asking price of $39.92. And again, we are moving towards warmer weather, so to see that sell so quickly is really good. This only took a couple of weeks to sell. Next up is a brand that you definitely want to be on the lookout for in the spring and summer, as well as the winter. It's just a really good overall, whole time, all throughout the year brand. It is Cool, Kuhl. And they really focus on outdoors wear stuff. This one is called a cashmere, which is like one of their lines. I think it just refers to the fabric. And it is a zip pullover. This one was a men's one, although they do make women's as well. This one had a little bit of wear. There was quite a bit of pilling. Even with that, we picked it up for $7.99 and flipped it for an offer to watcher of $35.93. So even with wear, still sold super quickly, just a couple of weeks of being listed for really decent money. So definitely keep your eye out for that. And as we move towards the warmer months, I'm going to be looking for the hiking pants and the shorts in this brand. Here's some more blazers and a brand you definitely want to keep your eye out for in the blazer section. It is Talbot's. Now we do try to stick to the larger sizes in this brand in blazers, and I have two examples for you right now. This is the first one. We actually picked this up from another reseller for $2, and we listed it for $34.92. To be honest with you, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter style, color, sleeve length. They're all going to sell as long as they're a larger size. Now, definitely if you have like something a little bit more substantial with a better print, you could add a few bucks, but in my opinion, I'm picking up like all of these as long as they are larger sizes again, because the sell-through rate is there. So paid $2, we listed for $34.92. It's sold within about a week of getting listed for our full asking price. This next one is also a Talbot's larger size 18W women's blazer. This one is linen. This one is an older style, older tag as well, but it was new with tags. So for all of those factors, we picked it up. We paid $2.60 for this, listed it for about $35. And around the same price, it sold very quickly within about a week of getting listed for an offer to watcher of $31.43. So again, really great quick flips with these Talbot's blazers and something you can find pretty quickly. This is a brand I really love picking up, although I will say some pieces tend to sit, so I do try to focus on the more substantial pieces. This is Outdoor Voices. It is a pair of women's Zephyr pants, so a very specific style that we were able to find. This one also had a little bit of wear. We paid $4.89 for this, listed it for $39.92. It sold very quickly within about a week of getting listed for our full asking price. Outdoor Voices does retail for quite a bit. Again, I really think it depends on the style that you have and the size, but great solid pickups with this. So I'm pretty much picking up everything and just willing to sit on it if it needs to take a little bit longer to sell. This is a brand of denim you definitely want to look for, particularly in the men's department. This is Diesel, and their stuff retails for a lot. Sometimes even the pre-owned ones, if they're rare, can go for crazy amounts of money, closer to $100. This one was not so rare. This is just a pair of straight leg men's jeans. We paid $6.99 for it. They sold for our full asking price of $35.92. And these sold within a couple weeks of getting listed as well. But I pretty much pick up any pair of Diesel jeans in the men's department. This is a brand I pick up pretty much everything in, and it really doesn't matter. Smaller sizes, larger sizes, I pick them up. It is Lilly Pulitzer. And we usually try to focus in the dress department on longer length dresses, but even the short dresses in this brand do pretty good as well. This one was actually not technically a dress. It was like a wrap towel cover up. We paid $4.89 for it. There was a little bit of wear to it. It still sold for $35. Again, pretty much anything in Lilly Pulitzer has a huge following right now, and because they retail for so much, you're going to get a good return on investment. So I'm picking up pretty much everything in the women's category for Lilly Pulitzer. This is another Ralph Lauren piece. This is the Black Label by Ralph Lauren, and this is a cashmere sleeveless sweater. I'm glad that we sold this before going into warmer weather. Cashmere is starting to go out of season, so I'm just trying to get rid of all of them. We picked this up at the bins, and it eventually sold for an offer of $35. I think we originally priced it slightly too high, but after dropping the price and accepting best offer, we got an offer for $35, which I absolutely accepted. But if you come across a Black Label Ralph Lauren, it adds more value than some of the other labels, so I wanted to show you guys this today. Last one on eBay before we dive into the Poshmark sales. This is a Christopher and Banks hand embroidered sweater. Definitely not a brand we pick up a lot of, but we do keep our eye out for these interesting looking sweaters in just about any brand. And since Easter was coming up, one of our sourcers picked this up at the bins. How cute is this? Bunnies, carrots. This is just perfect for Easter. So she picked this up at the bins, very low cost to us. I think we listed this like a few months ago, which is why it took so long to sell and had since dropped the price. But now that Easter is about here, it ended up selling for $31.38. So keep your eye out for some of these more novelty sweaters, especially as you are approaching into a holiday. Moving on to Poshmark, obviously you guys saw on the sales screen, our average sale price was very low. So most of the stuff I sold on Poshmark were not full price sales, but I did also have some full price sales that I wanted to share with you of some bolos that you definitely want to look for that'll sell well on Poshmark. One of them is Nike Shox, and these shoes sell pretty much on any platform very quickly. And these Shox are these little, I don't know if I'd call them pumps or what I'd call them, but it's this right here. They're pretty easy to identify. Because they don't make a lot of these anymore, or maybe any of them, a lot of them are very old, and you have to make sure that these aren't breaking off the shoe because of dry rot. But if you find a pair that are in pretty decent condition, they go for quite a bit of money. So I would definitely keep your eye out in both men's and women's for these Nike Shox. We paid $14.99 for these. I think we listed them for $75, and I accepted an offer of $64 on these. This is definitely a shoe and Nike you want to look for. This is an athletic wear brand that has become really good bread and butter for us. It is BYLT Built. And although they do not go for crazy amounts of money, they do have a very high sell-through rate. This is just a men's plain white t-shirt. It is called the drop cut tee. Very popular style. And this we paid $4.89. It sold for $20. And another separate sale for Built is this newer label Muscle Tank, and this is called the Tech Tank in a size large. Really great condition on this one. Same thing, we paid $4.89, but this one sold for $25. So again, $25, not super high return on investment, but a quick flip, so I'm going to continue picking them up. This is a brand I've been experimenting with. It is J. Crew. I come across so much J. Crew, so much, and I pick up almost none of it. But I am, like I said, starting to experiment and try to figure out what in this brand sells well, because if you come across a brand pretty frequently, it is good if you're already going to come across it to figure out what the valuable pieces are. And I don't really believe that there is any one brand that you should just pick up nothing in. I always seem to find exceptions to every brand, so I'm always on the hunt to figure out what those are. This one was a very low investment. This was just a J. Crew women's puff sleeve sweater. I do know that pink is really popular right now with Barbiecore. This was also new with tags. So at the bins, probably paid, I don't know, this was super lightweight, probably less than $2. And we listed on Poshmark for $29, which is what it sold for. Really great return on investment. And again, I'm really surprised by some of these J. Crew sales. If you guys have any tips on J. Crew, let me know down in the comments. I do know that their outerwear can perform really well. I know that some of their like business wear does well, particularly the blazers do outstanding. But other than that, I'm not really sure. So if you guys have any tips on J. Crew, let me know down in the comments below. Next up is a We the Free sweater in a size extra large, which is a great size for free people. Free people sweaters are still performing really well for me, and so although I'm very picky with pretty much anything else besides sweater and dresses, I am still picking up sweaters and dresses in this brand. We paid $4.49 for this, and I do believe this was a much newer style, and I do believe that the size really impacted the price. We ended up selling this for $39. Great return on investment. This is Garnet Hill. This is a more mature brand, and I like pairing this brand with good quality materials. This one is a poncho cape sweater, which seem to be really popular right now. Ponchos seem to be really in, although moving into the warmer weather, I'm sure they won't be, but this winter ponchos seem to add value in that style. This one was a Garnet Hill wool Angora blend poncho. I paid $3.99 for it, and it ended up selling for $35. This is actually a kids piece that I wanted to share with you. This is a Columbia kids snow bibs. Only reason we looked at it was because it was new with tags, and on the inside it had a style name that said outgrown, which basically says that they're convertible. This actually performed really well sell-through rate wise. We only paid $4.89 for this, and it sold for $42. So really happy with that return, and do not discount kids stuff, guys. There are some really profitable kids stuff. This is something I thought I would just throw out there because it's been a while, but larger size band tees, obviously vintage band tees are going to do really well, but even some of the more modern ones, if they're in larger sizes and in good condition, and there's caveats to everything, and they have, a popular band, one everybody's going to know, definitely worth a pickup. I paid $4.89 for this. It sold for $23. It is just a men's Marilyn Manson 2015, so pretty new t-shirt, but it was a size large. Next up is something we're going to be on the hunt for spring and summer. It is J. Jill dresses in larger sizes. This is a J. Jill Wherever collection, a size extra large floral dress. Not much to say about it other than it sold for $29 and we paid $6.99. This is another brand of dresses we're going to be on the lookout for in larger sizes. It is Talbot's. This is a size 16, pretty plain, just black crossover, kind of dressy, businessy dress. We paid $7.99. It sold for $34, but definitely those two brands in larger sizes and dresses you're going to want to keep your eye out for. This was kind of a fun sale. I just wanted to show. We picked this up at the bins. It is just a Pioneer women's bath mat, and these seem to have a pretty decent sell-through rate. They're really easy to just fold up, put in a box, and ship. So we picked it up at the bins, probably paid, I don't know, $3 to $4 for it. It ended up selling for $20. We very rarely go outside of clothing, shoes, and accessories, but when we do, it's got to be a guaranteed flip. So I just thought I would share this sale with you. Here's another example of a newer label band tee, kind of along the Marilyn Manson lines. This is also a size large. This is a Bay Island 2012, so a little bit older Lincoln Park t-shirt. Again, I'd still consider that pretty modern. We picked it up for $2.99 and it sold for $30. So a lot of people are just completely passing on modern band tees, but some of them can perform really well. This is a great bread and butter brand to pick up in the like $20 to $25 range, kind of similar to Built. As far as selling strategies go, it is Task, T-A-S-C. And this seems to be like an athletic-y, somewhat outdoorsy, kind of golfy brand. I'm not describing that very well, but that's the vibe this brand gives me. This one was a crew neck organic cotton t-shirt. Usually I can flip anything in this brand for 25 bucks, but it usually sells really quickly. I paid $4.29 for this, and this one sold for 25. This is another brand in larger sizes in maxi dresses we're going to look for. It is Chico's. Don't pick up a lot of Chico's. It really depends on the piece, but their midi to maxi length dresses in the summer perform really well. And this one was new with tags, size 2 in Chico's, so we got it. We paid $4.89 for this, and it sold for $35. This was a brand I have never personally found, but I'm on the hunt for. One of our sourcers found this. It is Jenny Kane. If you see this brand, I would definitely get it. It's kind of hard to read. Black lettering on black label, but definitely worth a pickup. This is a Jenny Kane cashmere sweater in a size extra large. This sold super quickly. The sourcer only paid $2.59 for it, and we ended up selling it for $70, and this one sold ridiculously quickly. Next up is another brand I've been experimenting with, kind of like J. Crew. It is a mall brand. It is Express. Their stuff, like J. Crew, retails for a lot, but doesn't always have the best resale value. So I really look for certain pieces. Again, if you have any like comments on selling some Express items, things that work well for you, drop them in the comments below. One thing I do know that works really well with this brand are their maxi dresses, so I'm on the hunt for those. But other than that, I'm just like trying to figure it out. I only got this one because it was an open knit sweater, and it was a very beachy, size large and new with tags. And I do know that although we are going to slow down on sweaters, when we're moving into spring and summer, people still pick up these beachy open knit ones, which is the main reason that we picked this up. We paid $4.49 for this, and it sold for $35, and to my surprise sold very, very quickly. All right, next up is this Lulu's dress. Lulu's is another brand in dresses that we're going to be on the hunt for during spring and summer. And this is a size medium. We do try to stick to the larger sizes, or we try to stick to the longer lengths. This one was a longer length, new with tags, so that's the main reason that we got it. We paid $10.99 for this. It sold for $60. Great return on investment. I'm definitely not telling you to pick up everything Lulu's because I do think a lot of it sits, but midi to maxi length in this dress perform well, and then I do tend to pick up anything new with tags in this brand. And last sale was this Good American women's faux leather pant. Not sure if you guys have ever come across Good American. It used to be a super big bolo, like you could pick up almost anything in this brand and it would sell. Now it really depends on the style and the size, so I am a little bit more picky, but in general this brand performs pretty good if you know what to price it for. So these are a pair of faux leather pants, and we picked these up for $8.99. They sold for $50 on Posh.
Okay, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you're new to the channel and you want to subscribe, if you hit subscribe and that notification bell, you'll be notified every time I post these videos, and I try to do what sold videos every single week. Hopefully by sharing what's selling for me, it's something that you guys can look for at your thrift store. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.